Thank you for tuning in. Aleta Love.
Hey, everybody.
Appreciate your time. Uh, Causes for kids. We have a great discussion. So, financial literacy, big buzzword, right? 72% of adults report feeling stressed about money at least some of the time. 22% say they experience extreme stress about money some of the time.
Yeah.
And you got a great opportunity that you're rolling out for the community where you can catch that at a young age to try and prevent those situations. So give us a high level overview about financial literacy and the overall impact on the community, and then we'll dive into some specifics.
Yeah, sure. So, with Causes for Kids, we want to start kids with financial education once they get their first check or even before that. So, say for example, they have like a side hustle. Well, learning how to save with the side hustle or whatever you're doing.
Okay. So learning how to save, but also it's more of the mechanics involved too, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. So, as far as the mechanics of learning how to start a business or have money or um, working for someone or whatever have you. We want to get them to know about money and how money works, how to be in the community with the money that they obtain, and really learn how to get out and about in the community that they're at because they don't know the logistics of it. So going into a store and really indulging in what it means to pick up an outfit and know where it comes from, how much the pricing is, and the owner's process.
Right. So empowerment and independence is at the core of this, right? Because financial literacy empowers individuals to take control of their finances, and that kind of gives a sense of independence and self-sufficiency. And if we're looking to run into the future with sustainable communities, that's going to be really paramount, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Kids need to know early on about money. You don't want to have bad habits when you're adults, and the way you stop those bad habits is when you start as young as you can, so that way you have healthy habits early on. And so you keep that and you implement that, and you can even spread the word to your friends or your family and try to guide them in the right direction just by simple conversation. So say for an example, their first car at a certain particular age, starting really young before you even have your license to drive, is preparation, is preparing, is knowing what you want, preparing
Mhm.
for it in advance. So these preparations that we have, including financial education, starts first and knowing thyself first and getting these kids geared up, having that confidence to get out there and obtain money in ways, multiple ways, whether it be their passions and skills or whatever have you, or a multitude of things of just trial and error and try different things and see what fits, what works, what makes them feel good, and what makes them money. So, what Causes for Kids, that's what we're all about, trial and error, teaching them early and really having them try to indulge in different things to see what fits for them.
Yeah, because according to the World Bank, improving financial literacy can be an effective way to reduce poverty and improve financial well-being, which is like duh, right? No brainer. But at the same time, you got people that have a lot of currency flow, like some of these athletes and other predominant figures, and they wind up squandering it all because they didn't know what to do with it, right? And there's
Yeah.
levels to that. You don't have to be a multimillionaire to go broke. You could be 100,000 and go broke, and you have to rebuild everything too. So one good thing is with the global entrepreneurship mentor reports that countries with higher levels of financial literacy often exhibit higher rates of entrepreneurial activities as well.
Right.
So they'll be coming out of the job market and going into business ownership. Speak about how that translates and resonates with what you guys do in the community.
Oh, yeah. So in the community, we want the kids to have a choice. They don't have to just do entrepreneurship, but they can. They don't have to just work with somebody, but they can. If they want to do both, they can. It really is their choice. And the way that they go about that is by educating themselves, by getting out there and really having that hands on experience, not just in a book. And so talking to entrepreneurs and speaking to people who've done it is so essential because it gives them inspiration, it gives them motivation. And so when you hear people's stories, right, and you really tap in to people who've done it, you're like, oh wow, I could do that too. Or you can pick their brains about something that maybe would work in their business or their job so they can be of high asset in the company so they can ask for that top pay. You know what I mean? And that's also what counts. And so financial education stems from life experiences. So with life experiences comes with being out there. So that's what we want to have the kids be, is out there and really getting out and about and talking to people who are experienced, who's knowledgeable, and who can back it up with what they have going on currently.
Right. So the entrepreneurship and economic growth factors actually shifts the balance of power from, because I'm all about reducing codependency on big government and large corporations. So the thing we keep running into is we can't separate from what we haven't built a system to replace. So by getting the youth focused on that, and then puts them in a position where they'll become higher levels of entrepreneurship,
Mhm.
that's going to create the wave that's going to build the future mid-sized to big businesses and corporations that then our communities can go and be employed by people like us instead of the current state, right?
Yeah. It's so imperative to really get them to understand that. So important that they have options, and so important to know that once you actually learn a skill, you just keep building on that and you keep progressing and you just educate yourself even more, because as a student to life, you can never stop learning. So it's just better to pick brains of people who've done it and then just capitalize on that with your own ideas and expertise and have people behind you who support you. And the formula for that can definitely catapult people or these youth into success just by having people around them that support them.
Right. And that's the thing. People around them that support them. And when I say people like us, and when you hear me say the community, understand that that's not necessarily a physical place or a certain type of people. um, like appearance wise, it's a mindset, it's a mentality. Intellectual critical thinking is going to be the new racism soon, because if you're critically thinking and you're thinking outside the box, that means you're harder to control. So if they're trying to push everybody in a society into a weakened state, financial illiteracy, for example, so that they can be manipulated and control like pieces on a board, then the people that are becoming wise to this that you're bringing up are going to be like enemies of the state. So,
Yeah.
right? So we're going to have to do that. Now, one of the things that, jumping around here a little bit, that comes back to behavioral factors.
Hmm.
Because not only are we going to, when you hear me say on YNet 7, we need to shift from transactional leadership to transformative leadership, there's going to be mental health awareness issues and in emotional intelligence situations that we're going to have to deal with, address, and learn to change so that we can appreciate the shift from transactional leadership to transformative. And that's going to also come in the financial world too, because behavior and psychological factors such as the cognitive biases, may still influence decision making when it comes to finances and financial literacy. Like, buying a pair of Nikes because you didn't have enough for most of your childhood instead
Yeah.
of, speak about that for the people.
Yeah, it starts from within, and you really have to have that attitude in advance, whatever.
Okay, we lost her for a moment here. YNet 7, appreciate you. It's good. It's good when the technical glitches happen, right? Because like we said, they don't. You guys get this information, you're gonna become a weapon. Give us 1 second, please. Stay with us here. And in the meantime, we'll do a quick commercial break. Pasha Paroh, join the frequency.
Another great small business owner saw the value of Pasha Paroh's promo panel campaign production and just ordered their panels for 24Q1 and 24Q2. Don't keep feeling like something is missing in your brand life. Execute with Pasha Paroh's personalized marketing and branding. This is nation building, baby. Pasha Paroh at gmail.com.
Pasha Paroh, join the frequency.
Another great small business owner saw the value of Pasha Paroh's promo panel campaign production and just ordered their panels for 24Q1 and 24Q2. Don't keep feeling like something is missing in your brand life. Execute with Pasha Paroh's personalized marketing and branding. This is nation building, baby. Pasha Paroh at gmail.com.
Pasha Paroh, join the frequency.
Another great small business owner saw the value of Pasha Paroh's promo panel campaign production and just ordered their panels for 24Q1 and 24Q2. Don't keep feeling like something is missing in your brand life. Execute with Pasha Paroh's personalized marketing and branding. This is nation building, baby. Pasha Paroh at gmail.com.
Pasha Paroh, join the frequency.
Another great small business owner saw the value.
All right, all right, all right. I was telling him, I said, it's good when the technical glitches happen that shuts it down. It's good information. I said, you're gonna become weapons, and they was like, cut, 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 cut the feed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so basically, he was in the middle. We was just talking about how making choices like buying sneakers because you haven't had anything, the emotional attachments to stuff like that, overcoming that as an obstacle or a hurdle, and you were about to go in on that. So go ahead and go in.
Oh yeah, all right. So let me go in. All right. So pretty much for the most part, it's about that mindset and changing your mindset and being set, like with your mind, the way that you think on certain things. And you really have to be educated with your purchases because a label is not going to make you money. Now, if you want to invest in the label, that's the way to think of it, to be able to capitalize in your future. And also, you really have to focus on your future more than just the labels, because it's one thing to look rich. It's another thing to actually have wealth. And so the way you have to shift your mind is about knowing yourself first and not caring about the labels or what people may think of you or what people may view you as. Like say, oh, I have the newest sneaker, the newest Nike, the newest Jordans. You're aiming to impress an audience of some sort. You're aiming to impress someone. And you really have to just worry about impressing yourself. And one way to impress yourself is by looking in your bank account and really being like, oh, okay, this month from last month has changed. It's maybe doubled, tripled, quadrupled because I did X, Y, Z. I didn't buy those shoes. I put it in my bank account. I didn't buy that Louis Vuitton. I have it in my bank account. And so the way you have to have that shift, those little things alone, definitely you'll see growth. You'll see that growth, and then you can use that in the future. So when you look back in a couple of years, you can say, now I'm wealthy. Now I have this X, Y, Z. Now you have assets. Instead of looking like you have assets, you actually have assets. So that's what's important. It really starts from within and really changing the narrative. Don't care about what anybody thinks. Don't care about nobody but yourself and what you can have in your future, because you have to think of future self first.
Right.
Present
And
self.
go ahead. But
Oh yeah, so I was gonna say you have to put present self and say to your future self, have those conversations. What would my future self be like if I did something in this present time? and really keep having that dialogue with yourself, and it will become natural to make healthier decisions because you're pep talking yourself to the right direction.
I agree with that. And I think, you being from up top, and then why, when you speak of yourself and think about it as a body, now you can expand that body into your household, your community, et cetera, et cetera. So when you're making these decisions about the health of self, the body is how many people together. You know what I'm saying? So Simon Sinek quote, once we agree on a destination, it makes it easier to overcome all obstacles. So once we get in mind that, hey, this is where we got to get to, this is why we're doing this, so that we can build the replacements for this infrastructure that we claim that we hate and claim that we're being oppressed by. Now we understand why we're going without. Now we understand why we're paying an extra $1, $2, $3, $5 to the neighbor for the same product that we could get from Walmart for cheaper, because we're not trying to save money to buy the pair of Nikes. We're trying to spend the extra dollars to invest in our communities and the people around us, right?
Oh yeah, that's definitely most important too, because if we can have those
For
support,
sustainability.
the support, like I was stating from before, that we can have growth. And that growth can stimulate the economy, which keeps those mom and pop shops open, which pretty much what was back then. It was so important to have the corner deli or bodega in New York, as they would call it, or just different mom and pop shops that had stuff. Pharmacies was owned by mom and pops at one point. And then things changed, and you have big name monopolies who's capitalized on expanding their name because they have the capital to do so. But if we poured back into our own communities, then guess what? Then we can keep those mom and pop shops, and we can keep those entrepreneurs who can give just as good of a job, do good of a job as those big companies. Like these big companies, a lot of them, when you see these big companies, they get bigger and the quality gets worse. Why don't we
Right.
keep the good in our community by keeping the capital in our community so we can improve our own? That makes sense.
Absolutely. The way we translate it here on White and Seven is that's the success of the humble campaign, because they got us all up here, Kendrick Lamar, be humble and all this stuff. And that sounds great if humble was a bad thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at humble is not proud, right? I mean, excuse me, that'd be great if proud was a bad thing, right?
Mhm.
So humble means not proud, but proud is excellent, splendid, and noble.
Right.
So then we wake up one day and we're like, where's all of our excellent, splendid, and noble things in our community? And we don't have any because we were practicing proud, right? So that's great, because now what you're looking at here is there's a lack of standardization in the curriculum at the youth. Matter of fact, according to the National Endowment for Financial Education, NEFI, only 21 states require high school students to take a course in personal finance of
Wow.
any kind.
Wow.
So right from the rip, we gotta get you out of New York and get you national, because at least 28 other states could value your presence, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's wild to think about when Causes for Kids first started. We definitely just wanted to take baby steps, but today it's like, that inquiry of people nationally from different states currently who are asking for our services, and us being able to maintain classes on Zoom is definitely a game changer for us. And we definitely look forward to the expansion of Causes for Kids, because we get to help more kids and be more financially inclined, better in their own community outside of the state, wherever state they reside in, and can be educated and afford that education because we offer it. We teach them how to fish, and so they can pay for their own education easy. And so as they're hands-on in their community and they're able to give back to their community, they're paying for their classes. And this is going to take with them from young all the way to adulthood. And then they can tell a friend, and then their friends can be just as educated, and they'll be in a different crowd because they have the education, they have the knowledge, and they can be in rooms with people they normally didn't think they could because they have that confidence. Because when you have education, you feel confident, right? You feel like you have that power. That's why you have to constantly educate yourself and stay ahead of the game and ahead of the curve, no matter how old you are. Don't think it's too early to start. It's never too early to start, even if you don't even work yet. If you just have an interest, take the class.
Now, even after you take the class, right, there's the complexity of the financial system. So, it makes it challenging for individuals, especially when there's a limited education like we see in 29 states here. at least in that area, to fully grasp and apply financial concepts to begin with. But even when you take the class, don't become too like comfortable because hello, changing economic landscape all the time, right? So rapid changes in the economic situations, financial markets, they pose challenges for individuals trying to keep up with evolving financial strategies. So give them some guidance on, just because you got a little bit of knowledge, don't stop, right?
Oh no, be a student to life. Be a student to life. Just keep learning constantly. I don't care if you're 60, 70, 80 years old, you still got some learning to do because you can't stop learning, then you'd be stagnant. You know what I mean? So you have to keep educating. And what causes the kids' vision is to just keep adding to our program and keep with the change and the shift of the economy and the new data that comes out and the new information that we can give to help the youth when it comes to financials. We're going to add to that because whatever it takes to enhance the program will enhance the kids, and it will enhance their future because the more they know, if that makes sense. And so
Mhm.
definitely never stop learning. Definitely never give up on yourself. And whatever you don't know now, you will know later, whether you read it or whether you go through it.
That's true. 15% of 15-year-olds globally demonstrate basic financial literacy skills.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that with my students. I've seen it. They're very creative. These kids are creative. What do we do with their creations? That's the question. What do we do? How do we take their passion and turn it into revenue? That's the question. How do we teach these kids how to fish? Because if we teach them how to fish, then they're self-sufficient. They can feed themselves and they can be able to obtain a household, and then they can be able to run it with ease because they're not stressing. They're not, penny pinching. Well, they're budgeting, but they're not stressed about it. They have the tools in advance, so they're not stressed because they have money. When they come to our programs, they already have a savings account leaving, and they repetitively take the same courses or even, add spins on the courses that we add information that helps them. Whatever questions they have, if we don't know, we have advisors and other people in different fields who we can call on the phone and have them have a sit down one-on-one for free. Because these people who we work with, they also feel the need that these kids need additional education. And if they want to pick the brains of people who have done it, why not?
So I like that the programs there, you spoke about the change because 45% of working age households have no retirement savings,
Mm-hmm.
or the National Institute of Retirement Security Fund, right?
Mm-hmm.
63% of Americans are estimated to be living paycheck to paycheck. So when you said it's not that they're balling out all of a sudden, they're budgeting. And then when we combine that with the fact that they're going to be more prone to become entrepreneurial, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can go from being like, oh, well, the job market only offers us $15 to $25 an hour to actually becoming uh, a household in a more lucrative state.
Yeah. Yeah.
So from 63, what was that number again? Hold on. I got notes for them. I got notes. I like to keep it true. 63% of Americans are estimated living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, it's crazy, especially in today's economy. That's why it's so important to be financially educated and financially ready for what's to come. Whether we are going in one direction or another, we should still be comfortable no matter what.
Exactly. So with 54% of employers in the United States, right, offer some form of financial education to their employees, how are you moving forward in the future to connect with the employers for the employees' benefit? Because what I find with what I recommend a lot is we can't really change the youth without addressing the parents either, because then we put them in a problematic situation of you give them information like, remember when Common Core math came out, they were like, what is this? The parents was like, that ain't math, you can't, don't be doing that shit in my house, right? You know what I mean? So we got to address it from both sides. Now, how does explain the value added to employers and business owners to become acquainted with and network with Causes for Kids, contact you at the email, and work together in the community? Explain that relationship.
Yeah, well, businesses definitely want to work with us, and I'll tell you why. Is because we have these kids come in to volunteer. We have them use their volunteer experiences, hands-on experience, and as they're helping these big and small businesses, they're actually getting these work experiences that they normally wouldn't get in different feel. So they don't just go into one store, they're going into different stores and different companies and different places. So by the time they leave in that 6 week space that they have for that specific program, for the workforce program, then they try different places and see what they like. And at the same time, these businesses are getting the help that they need and they're getting volunteers on our behalf. And so, why wouldn't you take advantage of not only helping your community by educating the kids, but also getting help for your business? That's pretty much what Causes for Kids does currently. And we continue to expand by having more businesses sign up. And the more businesses who sign up, they can also support us by educating the kids as they're getting the help that they need to help their businesses.
That's great. And that's how we're going to make the community sustainable. We're going to work with the businesses now. They're going to invest in the community. The youth is going to get educated and innovative. And
Yeah.
then they're going to become the leaders of the businesses tomorrow. And they're going to be able to hire the community of the next generation.
Hmm.
We're coming up on 30 minutes here. You got what closing remarks or what topics did we miss that you want to make sure that the people are aware of?
Oh, well, I think what I want the viewers to really understand is financial education for the youth is so, so important. If we start these kids as young as possible, just giving them a little wallet and taking them to the grocery store to show them about change, showing them how much things cost and money and so forth, is making them feel heard and is making them feel special, is making them feel like they're doing something, they're actually learning from these experiences. Start them as young as you can. You'd be surprised. These kids want to know. These kids don't want to just, be out in the dark when it comes to financials. You'd be surprised how many kids are interested. So definitely see what your kid would be interested in and definitely start indulging and maybe buying them their first wallet. We are giving away wallets. So if you check out at Causes for Kids on Instagram and send it to DM, we'll send you a free Causes for Kids wallet. And so we definitely want to have these kids start early. And the better they are educated, the better they are in the community, and the better they're equipped for after high school and into college. And so when they have their first college class, they should have a nice savings account with us. And so um, that's pretty much what I have to say. Definitely start these kids early with financial education. Very important. Very, very important. And the littlest things go the longest way.
Agreed. Like she said, get the wallet. It's something tangible. Put it in your hands. They're hands on putting the future in your hands today. So you can hold on to it. Right. So I appreciate your time. I'm Pasha Paroh. It's White at 7. Say bye to the people, Aleta.
Bye, everybody.
Always a perfect day. Thank you for tuning. Enjoy.